Now at 4 o'clock, a surprising move in the trial of the accused Charleston church shooter. What he asked a judge for today.
And good news in the fight against those wildfires out west, but not everybody's out of the woods yet. The help they could get as soon as tonight.
And 2 days of honor. The plan's underway right now in Havana as people around the world continue to process the death of Fidel Castro.
But first, we begin with breaking new developments in the attack at the Ohio State University that happened earlier this morning. Police now saying a gun not involved, but 10 people still ended up in the hospital today.
Police have been investigating all afternoon long. Details are still coming in as we speak. Let's get right to NBC Charlotte's Fred Shropshire, who's live at the Breaking News Center. Fred, what do we know right now?
Well, Beth, as Bill just said, we know that the suspect is dead and those 10 victims are in the hospital right now. The good news with all of this, they're all expected to be okay. Here's what we know about what happened. This happened around 10 this morning. Police say the suspect, Abdul Artan, who is a student at Ohio State, plowed into a crowd on campus with a car. Then he jumped out and started stabbing people with a butcher knife. A police officer was on the scene within minutes, shooting and killing the suspect. Listen to this as one witness describes the scene as surreal.
It's not real. You go numb. It's not supposed to happen. Sorry. So yeah, it's scary.
The Ohio State campus was on a lockdown for about an hour and a half with reports of an active shooter. But as we've said, there was not a gun involved. As far as the suspect, we know he was 18 years old and a Somali refugee who was a legal permanent resident of the United States. That's the latest. Police haven't said what the motive was behind this attack, but they are saying it was premeditated. We're going to stay on top of these new developments and tell you more as we get them available in our newsroom. But for now, reporting in the breaking news desk, Fred Shropshire, NBC Charlotte. Bill, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Fred, thank you. And for breaking news updates on the go, everybody, you can always download the NBC Charlotte mobile app. We'll send you the latest news straight to your phone. It's free. You can find it right there in your app store.
New developments today in the trial of accused Charleston church shooter Dylan Roof. After a federal judge declared him mentally fit to stand trial, he says he wants to act as his own attorney. NBC Charlotte's Rachel Brown is standing by at NBC News Channel with the latest on this. Rachel, this is quite a new development here.
Beth, it sure is. And what might be even more surprising to some people, the judge granted his motion, even after Roof's legal team told him he should not do this. Roof is facing multiple charges, including hate crimes and murder. Police say he gunned down 9 black parishioners at the Emmanuel AME's church last summer. In the meantime, jury selection for the trial began today with more than 500 potential jurors reporting to that courthouse. Roof said he disagreed with the judge's decision to strike a woman from jury service after she said she supported the death penalty for people who are convicted of multiple murders. Roof said because of that, she would, quote, consider everything in terms of punishment. 7 other potential jurors have been marked as qualified. Now, we do want to remind you, this is all for Roof's federal trial. He is facing charges at the state level as well. If convicted, he could face the death penalty. I'm live at NBC News Channel, Rachel Brown. Back to you.
Rachel, thank you so much.
Millions of people today still processing the death of Fidel Castro. This as the city prepares, or Havana rather, prepares for their former leader's funeral, which will happen on Sunday. There are mixed emotions in Havana over the loss of the man who was the dictator of that country for 7 decades.
Here at home, some people are saying that this is a man who shouldn't be mourned, but others are grateful for him because they say he gave them free health care and free education.
NBC's Jay Gray reports for us tonight from Havana.
Good evening, Bill, Beth, from Havana, where lines continue to stretch in almost every direction from here alongside Plaza de la Revolucion on a day filled with emotion and concern across this island nation. The blast of cannons shatters the uneasy silence that hangs over Cuba right now. A 21-gun salute to El Comandante.
We all feel very sad with the loss of our commander.
Streets are blocked for miles and lines stretch for hours. Cubans from every corner of the city, school children, adults, even the son of President Raul Castro. Thousands waiting for a chance to file past this simple memorial. It's just a few seconds, but for many, it's an emotional goodbye.
he's the symbol of the revolution, and he was a symbol of Cuba.
Cuban journalist Paola Larramendi says even though he was no longer El Presidente, the death of Fidel Castro leaves a void, questions, and concerns about what comes next.
We grew up always seeing Fidel as the person with all the answers. Now, I don't think anyone can say what's going to happen.
Many concerned about what Castro's death means to the growing economic relationship between Cuba and the United States. And as the first U.S. commercial flight to Havana lands this afternoon, there are questions stateside as well. The Obama administration standing by its ongoing effort to normalize relations with Cuba in the wake of Castro's death.
I wouldn't expect any impact on the kind of progress that we're committed to making on our end.
But a social media post from President-elect Donald Trump this morning threatens to terminate the growing relationship if the countries can't broker a, quote, better deal. A deal that for now will have to wait as memorials continue across Cuba with a public funeral planned for Sunday. Reporting in Havana, I'm Jay Gray. Now I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Jay. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we've been talking to some of the thousands of Cuban Americans who live right here in Charlotte. Hear what they have to say about Fidel's death. Again, that's coming up today at 5 o'clock.
Well, for the first time in a while, Mother Nature seems to be lending a helping hand to crews battling those wildfires out in western North Carolina. We are expecting a little bit of rain this week. The wildfires have now burned more than 57,000 acres in 18 different areas. Crews tell us their biggest concerns at the moment are leaves falling on hot spots and then starting new fires. So they're working hard to prevent that and buttoning up some of the fire lines so they don't cause erosion or water quality issues with the rain that is likely to fall. Also, keep in mind burn bans are still in effect, including right here in Mecklenburg County. Of course, meteorologist Brad Panovich has been tracking the rain that is heading towards North Carolina. This is a bit of welcome good news.
Yeah, absolutely great news. The bad news is some of these areas that were burned will likely see some mudslide threats as we go through the next couple of days. Bill, let's take a look at the radar. You can see the radar showing plenty of clouds out there right now, but the one thing we're keeping an eye on is some light rain starting to develop in the mountains and foothills. This is what we call upslope flow. We've got some southeasterly winds developing, so we're starting to see some light drizzle and mist start to develop here in North Carolina. The main axis of moisture is still back towards the Gulf Coast, where we've got some severe weather, a couple tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings. That red area is a tornado watch. We're not expecting severe weather in our area, but the winds will start to pick up later tonight as rain chances ramp up towards tomorrow morning. Notice temperatures actually staying in the 50s, if not going up by tomorrow morning. Coming up, we're going to talk about just how much rain we're going to see with this first wave of rain and when that second batch is going to move in what is a very soggy forecast for the first time in months. Beth.
Thanks so much, Brad. Right now, CMPD is still looking for two suspects who robbed a Bojangles early this morning. Here's new surveillance photo of one of the suspects. Police tell us this happened around 4:30 at the location on Statesville Road in North Charlotte. Employees were just getting to work when the suspects came in, and they were armed with weapons. They got away with some cash, but we haven't been told yet how much. The good news is, in all of this, no one was hurt. But if you have any information, you are asked to call police.
A man is jailed this afternoon charged with shooting and killing somebody at a Charlotte nightclub over the weekend. Police say 27-year-old Wade Mosley killed 34-year-old Gregory Spearman. The shooting happened just before 3:30 yesterday morning. This was at a club called Club Lust. That's on Atondo Avenue, right outside of Noda. Medic took Spearman to CMC, they say, where he later passed away.
A night of fun turns into bloodshed after two suspected gunmen opened fire in New Orleans in the popular French Quarter. That was early yesterday morning. They hit 10 people, killing one of them.
I got one shot in the chest, I got one shot in the hands, I got another one shot somewhere else I can't tell right now. And I need that EMS ASAP.
This right here is new video into the newsroom showing the widespread panic when a spray of gunfire unleashed chaos on one of the most popular tourist destinations in the country. Police say the shooting happened when an argument between two men escalated into a shootout. The hunt is still on for both of those suspects.
To say the least, this is an unconscionable act that is unacceptable. It continues to put an exclamation point on the death and destruction that gun violence has played on the streets of New Orleans.
The victim has been identified as 25-year-old DeMontres Tolliver. The New Orleans Police Department now combing through surveillance video from businesses on Bourbon Street.
President-elect Donald Trump making new claims about the election today, saying that voter fraud is what cost him the popular vote. This, as news broke today, he is the official winner in the state of Michigan. He spent the weekend hammering Hillary Clinton on Twitter for backing recount efforts in key swing states. A lot of people are now questioning, could this even change anything? Hillary Clinton's camp joined third-party candidate Jill Stein in the effort, but campaign managers say they didn't start the battle, nor do they expect it to really change anything. Trump supporters saying we just have to accept these results.
It is a total and complete hypocritical joke that the group of people that thought that they were nervous about President-elect Trump not conceding are the people that are conducting recounts in states where we've won by over 68,000 votes.
In the meantime, President-elect Trump has provided no direct evidence to support claims of voter fraud, but he called out Virginia, New Hampshire, and California in this fraud cause. Trump's transition team hasn't made any clarifications as to what exactly he's referring to.
New twist over the weekend in the North Carolina governor's race. The state board of elections requested information from the Durham County Board of Elections after they turned down a request from Governor McCrory's campaign for a recount. Board members say they will try to get some answers from the county as to why they turned it down.
I have no problem with us taking some official action here, making them get it to us.
The McCrory team is disputing about 90,000 early votes that didn't show up until late on election night. Over the weekend, the governor said he would drop his challenges in the other 50-plus counties, but only if the votes in Durham come back in Attorney General Roy Cooper's favor.
Cyber Monday is here, and the season of record continues, with the U.S. Postal Service saying that they're ready for the surplus of packages. They have added 400 seasonal jobs to help handle the 750 million just packages that they're expecting this year. That is a 12% increase over last year. But with anticipation comes preparedness, and they say they are ready for it.
No matter whether you purchase for Cyber Monday or whether you're going to wait a little bit longer in the season, we'll make sure that your packages get delivered to you on time.
Well, the post office, of course, recommending to customers to use services on their website so you don't have to wait in long lines at the store. Coming up in just about 15 minutes, we're going to have a representative from the Better Business Bureau to go over what you need to be looking out for to make sure you don't get scammed if you're shopping this Cyber Monday.
And it looks like more people are opting to skip the lines on Black Friday and get those deals online. According to Adobe, customers spent more than $3 billion shopping online on Black Friday. That's up nearly 22% from just last year. Experts say the trend also suggests that people are less willing to hold out for deals traditionally found on Cyber Monday.
Coming up, almost 1,700 flights were canceled because of a strike with Lufthansa's pilots. Where it'll affect the flights that come into Charlotte every day.
And it's looking a lot like Christmas in some places, but you won't believe where this video is from. The unexpected place where snow actually fell.
First, though, new screenings for lung cancer. How doctors say they're using these new techniques to save lives every day. We'll tell you about it coming up next.